What's up, guys? This is Big Drew, and this is Titan Lifestyle. I'm back. It's Friday, so you know what time it is. I do this every week at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I talk about Titan events. I talk about therapy of the week. I usually pick out a topic for us to discuss, and my favorite part, Q&A, questions and answers. So get your questions ready. I'll put my thinking cap on. First, as always, gonna give you guys a little bit of time to get on. We're gonna give some shout outs. As soon as these screens get up in front of me, I'll start giving shout outs. I see Frank on mine, Paula on mine. What's up, Mo? Isaiah Washburn just joined too, so a lot of people jumping on right now. Again, I'll give everyone a chance to get settled in. What's the weather like where you're at? First of all, what's the weather like? This time of year, it's crazy weather all over the place. So some places is warm, some places is cold. What is the weather like in your state, city, where you're from? Right now, over here, it's like 70, I think, sunny, a little cool for us. I mean, we're in Florida, so for us, 70 is cool. That's why I got a sweatshirt on. Anything below 80 for me, I don't like. So that's why everybody always sees me hooded up all the time, whether I'm working out or whether I'm outside. I like to be warm. I hate the cold. Cold puts me in a bad mood. Seasonal depression is real. That's why I live in Florida, so I can be warm most of the year. Shout out to Javier Cruz that just jumped on too. We're going to jump into therapy of the week. As soon as I get everything pulled up, I'll let you guys know. Shout out to Nola Native. More people jumping on right here. Let me give some waves real quick. Any guy, any girl, anybody have any questions about Titan Therapies, nutrition, training, now's the time. I'll be live for the next hour or so. So if you got any questions, ask me directly. Now is the time. I have a lot of DMs, a lot of emails. I don't really get to all of them. I have to filter through them. So if you want to ever speak to me directly, every Friday, 2 p.m., you can jump on here and ask me pretty much any question you want. Obviously it has to be acceptable and appropriate for the show. But anything you want to ask. Yeah, shout out to Nola. I just seen her give a wave too. Retrotrutide. What is retrotrutide? A lot of times, you hear a lot of people talking about semaglutide. It's like the big thing now. A lot of weight loss enthusiasts are preaching it. We have it here at Titan. It works great. Retrotrutide is the newer one. It actually works better. It's stronger. And it's anti-inflammatory effects, just like the semaglutide. It's going to lower your blood pressure. It's going to reduce your appetite, helps your heart and liver. So it's good for that. And you're also the first thing is significant weight loss. One thing with retrotrutide too is we're having a sale on it right now. So if you call in, just let them know Big Drew told you about the sale. You're going to get $100 off. So automatically $100 off. And one thing too, because you guys know I always throw numbers around. When I'm looking at this right now, if I wanted to lose weight and I was going to jump on this retrotrutide, I would probably get it, take advantage of the 100% off, and use that 100 and get some ECAA. Because you could take ECA plus with this. Retrotrutide's it's not a stimulant, so it's not going to give you crazy energy or anything like that. It's just literally scientifically proven to actually, burn fat. You lose body weight, total body mass index. And with this, a lot of times people are also saying, with semaglutide, sometimes it'll make them nauseous, sometimes it doesn't. But if you do take that, we have stuff to help with that. With this, you're not going to have that problem. And with retrotrutide, you don't have to worry as much about becoming catabolic and you losing muscle. So a lot of times, people take semaglutide, they want to take it, but they're like, wait a minute, if they already have a lot of muscle and they're lean, they don't have a lot of body fat, sometimes it pulls from that because that's the only muscle or weight that's on your body. With retrotrutide, not so much. So I'm interested to see how it's going to work in terms of bodybuilding, like some of the clients that I have or some of the people that I know, see if they use it, see how their body changes from it. I mean, obviously they're going to lose fat, they're going to lose weight. But it's interesting to see now we have something that's you don't have to really worry so much about the muscle loss. So huge. So yeah, $100 off right now. If you call 727-389-3220, take advantage of that offer. We service all 50 states except for Idaho. So if you're in Idaho and you need this, if there's somebody that you know in a neighboring state, friend, family, coworker, maybe you have a company in another state with an address, we can ship to them. That's completely legal. We're not cutting corners. But legally, there's certain regulations where we can't ship directly to Idaho. But If you have another address, just let us know. Let the medical provider or whoever you call know, hey, look, I'm in Idaho. This is what I need. This is the address I need sent to. And I'm sure there's forms and stuff you have to fill out. But yeah. BioSups, so he's asking for the phone number again. It's 727-389-3220. And again, that's 727-389-3220. You could text or call that number. So a lot of times people don't like to call. They like to just text, and they don't have to actually talk to somebody. You could text that number. You're going to be texted back directly. It's not robots. It's not, anything AI or anything like that you're going to be dealing with. You're going to actually be dealing with medical providers, letting you know what you need. JC Butler is asking, I believe it's about retatrutide. He's asking how long before you start feeling the results. I'm not really sure. It's such a new therapy. I've seen the clinical trials and stuff like that. I've heard of and see results of people taking it. Now with Titan, I haven't heard of anybody through Titan that's completed a full, 10-week therapy with it, because it's so new. It just came out like a few weeks ago. So I'm not sure how quick the results come, but I just know that it is very strong, works better than semaglutide if you're concerned with losing muscle. And again, you don't have to worry about getting nauseous or dizzy with retatrutide. But again, as time goes on, every time we have a new therapy here, I don't like to preach on it too much until I actually take it myself, or until I know people that have taken it through Titan and gotten results. The reason why I say through Titan is because a lot of times people get stuff from a random website or a research company that's not legit. You don't know how good that stuff is. You don't know if it's dosed properly. You don't even know if it's real. So I'm not going to take results, or I'm not going to take reviews off people that haven't done it through a prescription, because that's the only way. So in other words, if I go online and find some random website that will sell me this, and I take it and I say, yeah, it worked okay. It was kind of like, it worked okay. That might not be dosed properly. It might not be what it says it is. Now, if I hear from someone, I got this through Titan, prescription from a U.S. licensed pharmacy, now we're talking. So if they say, yeah, this works great, that's the results, that's the reviews I go off of. So I don't go off of reviews on message boards. I don't go off of reviews on companies that are trying to sell you something, because they'll talk great about it. I go off of literally clinical tests, medical proven facts, to know that what you're taking is real. The 10XU is saying, how do you buy? Again, just call 727-389-3220. If you're already a patient, you could basically, they already know who you're going to be when you call. They know who you are. They can look you up. If you're not a patient, fill out the new patient paperwork. Just go to titanmedicalcenter.com and click on new patient paperwork, male or female. Fill that out and then call the number. Once you call the number, the medical provider will go over everything with you and let you know how you could order that and how long it's going to take to get there and the cost and everything like that. So yeah, Big Rod said facts. Yeah, you got to know what you're taking is legit. You never want to, all these, there's so many websites. You could just Google probably semaglutide order now on Google search, or retatrutide. You're going to get dozens, hundreds probably, of places willing to sell you it without a prescription. Don't trust those places. It's hit or miss. They can send you some real stuff the first time to get your money, and then the next time it's not so good. That's why a lot of times when people order from these places, they're like, yeah, I took it. It was working good at first, but all of a sudden I wasn't feeling it anymore. Chances are they gave you a good dose, the first dose, half dose the second time, and then the last time they're just giving you some bacteriostatic water. Not good. United Fit Model, it knows as tirzepatide. I think they're asking if it's the same thing as tirzepatide. Tirzepatide's different. Tirzepatide's a different compound. Tirzepatide works something like semaglutide. Tirzepatide's even a little bit stronger than semaglutide. And tirzepatide through Titan is $650 for 10 weeks. Say my name, I'll take a little bit of money off. So if you ever call and say, I need a Big Drew discount, you get a little bit of a discount there. But yeah, it's different. So far, tirzepatide, retatrutide, and semaglutide, those are the main weight loss products that we have here right now at Titan. We have other stuff too, ECA, AOD 9604, but those are the main ones. Texas Baseball says, in your opinion, what's a good ratio of Primo tests? I would dump the Primo. If you're looking for something similar to Primo, just because Primo is almost impossible to get without a prescription, so a lot of Primobolan is actually faked. A lot of Primobolan is actually testosterone with a Primobolan label on it, and that's a whole nother show. So I would ditch the Primo. If you're looking for something to add to your test that does something similar to Primo, you could go with IGF-1 LR3, or you could go with testosterone. Those are two compounds that add muscle, help with fat burning, and testosterone will also target your belly fat. They don't have side effects that's going to affect you mentally. They don't have really any side effects, negative ones. You don't have to worry so much about having a post-cycle therapy as you would with taking some Primo. American Savage, is 16 too young for peptides? I would say so. I would say 18 would be limit. 16 is too young for peptides. I mean, depends what the peptide is too. I mean, at Titan, we generally wouldn't take someone that young, but if there's a serious medical reason, but if someone's just looking to take it just to get in shape or to change their body, I would say 16 is too young. And not only that, it's not so much you're too young, it's you don't know your potential yet. If you're unless you need to be probably working out for 3 years consistently, eating consistently, resting consistently for like 3 to 5 years before you start taking peptides and stuff like that when you're young, when you're 16. I mean, if you were 25, yeah. But I mean, I would just wait a little bit. You only passed puberty a few years back. So, I mean, your body's still developing. Get used to what you can do naturally. So 16 would be too young for peptides. And I would also say, unless there's a serious medical condition, I would say 16 is also too young for TRT or hormone replacement therapy. Kyle Passarelli is saying test Anadrol with Clen. Test is good. It's HRT. HRT dose of test would be good. Anadrol, I would ditch it. Anadrol causes kidney damage, high blood pressure, aggression, high water retention, other bad side effects with Anadrol. And with Anadrol, it's almost impossible to eat. So even though you're getting big and strong, you can't eat. And then the side effects, and if you're not eating, you're not growing, and then you're in a bad mood. So I would drop the Anadrol, and I would also drop the Clen. Clen, otherwise known as clenbuterol. It's a prescription medication prescribed for people with asthma. It helps you breathe a lot better. In the bodybuilding community, they take it to help burn fat. But if you're looking for something that's going to help burn fat, so in other words, instead of taking the Anadrol, take MK677. MK677, it's oral just like Anadrol, so you just take one capsule a day or however you're dosing it. It's going to increase your appetite as opposed to Anadrol suppressing it. So when your appetite is increased, obviously you're eating more, you feel better, you're lifting more, you're training better. I've taken Anadrol and MK. I mean, I've taken Anadrol before in the past, like a while back, and MK, actually, I gained more, believe it or not, on the MK, just because I was eating and I felt good. I didn't feel like crap. When you're taking something that makes you feel like crap and you can't eat and you have a headache and your stomach, Anadrol is known to cause stomach problems, not good. So overall, instead of going test Anadrol Clen, I would go test MK677 and ECA. ECA Plus, I would replace your Clen with the ECA Plus stack. That's ephedra, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and choline. So you're going to get the stimulant from the caffeine, and you're going to get the fat burning from the ephedrine, and you're going to get the other benefits. Aspirin is going to help thin out your blood for a better pump, and then B12 has numerous benefits, choline as well. Tyler Creator says, I'm on 3 milligrams retatrutide. Should I stack it with enclomiphene to help retain muscle? I would see where your blood levels are at first and ask your medical provider. Enclomiphene, for people watching, enclomiphene is something you would take to bring up your natural test levels, helps with testicular atrophy. It's a newer thing we have here at Titan as opposed to HCG. So anybody who knows what HCG does, enclomiphene does the same thing, but you're not going to have the high water retention. It's not going to boost your estrogen so much. So for me, I take enclomiphene over HCG. But again, I would only throw the enclomiphene in there if you need it. Enclomiphene is made, it's used for people that have, whether their natural test is too low or synthetic is too high, and it's going to keep, so I would only throw the enclomiphene in there if you need it. So if you get your blood work done and your test is off, then you may need to add the enclomiphene. Mike and Anthony, I need advice on BPC 157 on dosage and where to inject. I'm also running SIP, and that would be testosterone cypionate. Now, in terms of doses, I'm not going to tell you what doses to take. I don't know what it says on the bottle. I don't know what you're prescribed. I'm assuming it's prescribed. Now, where to inject? You could inject closest to the area that you're trying to treat. So in other words, if you have elbow pain, if you have like a pain in your elbow, you're not going to put it into the elbow bone. But you'd pinch a small area around the elbow and just go right underneath the skin at an angle, sub-Q, and inject there. Or if you have shoulder issues, you could go here. But yeah, I would go closest to the area, not into a tendon, obviously not into a bone, but closest to the area. It's gonna get to that area and treat it quicker. Now, I don't do sub-Q injections at all in terms of in my stomach. I don't do that. So for me personally, I don't do that. I know some people do and it works systematic. But again, easiest way is like a 30 gauge half-inch pin closest to your elbow or closest to wherever the pain is at. And again, dosing just depends on the person. Yeah, Kyle, you're going to love the MK. The MK is almost the complete opposite of Anadrol because, I mean, believe me, I've been in this game 20 years. I know how it is. People are like, man, there's no way it's even close. It's close, believe me. Like, you're going to be eating. You're going to be feeling good. Delta Papa says, will MK677 complement oxandrolone, which is Anavar, and Deca, which is Decadurabolin? I don't even think you would need Deca if you're taking MK677 because Deca adds a lot of water to your body, and it also jacks up your progesterone, and it can give you erectile dysfunction. So anything you could take going to give you erectile dysfunction. What's the point if you look great and you can't even perform? So that's a whole nother show. So I would ditch the Deca. I would never take Deca. MK67 actually lubricates your joints a little bit, kind of like the way Deca does. I mean, maybe not to a certain high degree, as much water retention, but I noticed when I was taking MK, just a little bit of extra fluid I had in my body, I felt a lot better. Now, if you're looking for oxandrolone, which is Anavar, again, tesamorelin will be the closest thing we have here at Titan. I know Anavar works at targeting belly fat, but again, more side effects, and it's an oral, so you're going to have to take more because you're going to excrete it through sweat or urine. And again, tesamorelin targets belly fat, the core area, the same way the other ones would too. So you got to be careful when you're taking stuff. I love these questions. I always like to give people a safer alternative because a lot of times if you Google search, if you talk to all the guys or girls in the gym, they say this, they say that. Being here at Titan, being in the medical field, whether it was here at Titan or other places that I've worked for, I've seen it all. I've seen all the blood work. I've seen all the craziness, heard the crazy stories. So this is not someone who just has been in the fitness industry for a year or two. This is not someone who's been working out for 5 years, and this is not someone who's been, have knowledge on this for a couple years. I've been strong in this for 2 decades now. Trial and error with my own body, hearing other people's stories, reading and studying for endless hours, watching endless videos. So, I mean, just to give you guys a little background on how long I've been doing this. Hey, bro, I have a bad alignment. Does building more muscles help straighten my spine more? Depends what kind it is. Your spine is tricky. I mean, your vertebrae is like, there's so many different bones and slots and discs. Back and neck, I never like to give too much advice about because they're so touchy. But if you have a bad alignment, building more muscle actually it will help straighten your spine, or actually not so much straighten it, but if you have weakened muscles around your spine's going to kind of shift. And even if it's a sudden movement where you're going from one here to or twisting, if you're twisting too fast and the muscles next to your spine aren't strong enough, it's going to be like a shift. But if they're tight and your muscles are strong, it's going to control the movement forward and back, laterally, and all that stuff. So anytime you have more muscle, it's going to help other things. I mean, obviously, if you have way too much and you can't even move, that's different. But again, anytime you are going to strengthen an area, whether it's ligaments, whether it's close to ligaments, muscles that are close to ligaments, it's always better. 10 Million Young says, do you have male doctors? We have a male medical provider. We actually had a couple male medical providers. But if there's something that you need to be seen for and you would prefer that, that's fine too. But right now, basically me, John, camera guys, and the girls. Yeah, we do have a doctor that deals with more. I'm I'm not sure if he sees patients, but he does a lot of other stuff behind the scenes. But yeah, we do have male doctors here. It's just that in all the videos you see, you always see me, John, and like 20 million girls in the office. So there are a lot of girls that work in the office. There are a lot of girls that work the events, front desk girls, girls on the phones, girls in the back, so. But there are men here too, just not that many. Delta Papa, good. He says, in replace Anavar with MK. Now, when you replace the Anavar with the MK, I will tell you that you will gain weight on MK. You need to control your appetite. As long as you're eating clean, you're going to gain good lean muscle. But if you eat bad on it, my appetite when I first took it was out of control. Like literally everything I saw, I would eat. I would eat random stuff. Like I would eat plain white rice out of my rice maker in the middle of the night. Like I would just wake up and just eat out of it. Like it was insane. After a while, it kind of mellowed out. But one thing with MK, I tell people all the time, control your appetite, because you're going to go from only eating a little bit to every time you smell food, you see something about food, you're going to be like the people on My 600-Pound Life, where every time food just opens up your eyes. You are gracious. Appreciate it. No, John's out of the office today. Does GHCQ actually work? I did GHCQ for a year. At least, yes, it works for skin quality. Delta Papa, what are you looking to do by taking the GHKCU? You said it works for skin quality, but why were you taking it? A lot of times people take stuff for other reasons. We have stuff that'll work better. So I'm just interested why you would take that, or why you started taking the GHKCU. I appreciate you, Billy. I appreciate you, HB. Lily Addison. How does strength training affect mental health and reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression? It helps greatly. It helps greatly. And actually, the older people get, the more they actually strength train. Not so much cardio, not running, not walking your dog for 10 minutes, not going on the elliptical and talking and, oh, hey, how was your day today? No. Actually lifting and strength training. It actually helps with dementia too. So the older you get, the more strength training too. It's going to help with dementia. So it's not so much. It helps a lot with anxiety and depression, because it gives you. This is in my opinion. It gives you something you could do by yourself without having other people interfere, and you could see your progress over long periods of time. So in other words, if someone wakes up every day and they look in the mirror and they're depressed because they don't like what they see, start going to the gym. Now you look in the mirror, take off your shirt, and you like what you see. So depression could help in that way. Anxiety, I know for me, sometimes people just need to get that energy out. When you have all the energy cooped up for long periods of time, you're not doing anything, you're not walking, you're not running, you're getting older, you're not playing any sports anymore, you're just kind of sitting around. After a good workout, you feel a lot better. Like you just feel better. When you walk out of the gym, it's almost like working a long day outside in the sun. When you're done, you just feel better. So you're in a better mood. I'm not really sure the clinical, technical, brain function reasons, but I do know that it helps a lot with dementia the older people get. And it helps tremendously with fat burning. People think they have to walk or do cardio. You could lift weights and burn just as much calorie and look better because you're putting tissue on, as opposed to just shriveling up and running on the treadmill all day long. Samson said Napsgear. Yeah, Napsgear, that's one of those online places. They used to sell like the little sachet packets or whatever. All that stuff back in the day is like old school now. Now it's like real. You want real. I want a prescription. I want real stuff. I don't want something that's coming in a little packet that says what it is, and I have to read the code on the bottom, and it's too much. Would you recommend extra running extra with a cutting cycle? Depends what you're doing. I've never had any of my clients in about 2 decades ever run. I've never had any of them run unless they're a runner. Like that's more performance training. Now, if you want to be able to run, if it's a goal you have, you want to get faster, it just makes you feel good, that's fine. But in terms of to get cut's going to come from your diet. If you're eating like crap but running all the time and not lifting any weights, your body's going to shrivel up. If you want to get cut, or people say toned, you have to have muscle for it to be toned. So the more muscle you have, the less body fat you have, the more toned or cut you're going to be. If I were to start running, I'd probably lose 20 pounds in like a month. Like realistic, literally. So, I mean, especially if people are doing legs, you don't want to go out, train, have a great leg day, then go for a run and just trash your gains. So I'm not a fan of running. Now, if you play a sport, if you play football, now if you're trying to keep your endurance up in terms of all that, but in terms of muscle building, not a fan of running at all. There's not too many bodybuilders I know. Maybe back in the day, Arnold and stuff, they used to run on the beach. But with these, now with all this stuff, I don't know any bodybuilders that go on a run, that say, yeah, I just finished the workout, I'm about to go for a run. Maybe just buff guys in the gym, but not like bodybuilders. No running. What's up, Big Drew? This is from Bear. What's your preferred post-workout meal and supplement intake? My post-workout meal is either salmon, about 12 ounces of salmon or 12 ounces of steak with 2 cups of rice and about half of an avocado. Or I'll do eggs. So I either do, my protein sources are eggs, salmon, and steak. My carb source is mainly rice, or cream of rice and oatmeal. But before I work out, I like eggs and fruit because light on my stomach, good carbs, good simple fruit. So oatmeal, eggs, fruit. Post-workout will be steak salmon or steak rice. Thoughts on Ipamorelin CJC 1295. Works good. I'm actually taking it right now. It's a healing peptide, but it's also going to raise other stuff too. It's going to raise your IGF a little bit too, but yeah. Ipamorelin CJC 1295 is real good. Bear is saying, how does he get a hold of me if I'm interested in getting buffalo meat to stock the freezer? Absolutely. Bear, you could call the office. Actually, if you go to my Instagram, BigDrew616, or go to my Facebook, which is DRU, first name Drew, last name Board. You can see it on there too. But yeah, just contact Titan, let them know, give them their information, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, I need stocking up on some quality buffalo meat. That would be perfect right now. Bison is like my favorite thing to eat. George Youssef, test 150 milligrams per week. What? You can scroll up a little bit. Test 150 milligrams per week. What do I think? That's good. That's usually about an HRT or TRT dosage, 150 a week. That's about what we would put our patients on here if they're low in testosterone. But again, if you're not going through a medical provider, you got to get blood work done and figure out what that is. A lot of times people they have someone else who's going through HRT. They're like, yeah, my doctor said 200 a week. Oh, okay, well, I'll do 200. I'm HRT. Only way it's HRT is if you're getting blood work done and monitored. But 150 is a good range. It's a good amount, not too much. You don't really need to go over 200. Matt, what should I eat on rest days, or should I eat the same things on training days? I would say if you're looking for like a kind of like a refeed, like you want to rest. So what I do on my rest days is I eat more food, a lot more food, but it's the same food. So that way my stomach and my digestion is everything the same. People eat the same food all week and they're like, yeah, today's my rest day. I'm going to eat, get my high calories. And then they'll eat fast food and all this crap, and then they'll feel like crap. And it takes like 3 or 4 days. Or if they're eating cheese, it might take a week for that to fully get out of their system. So whatever your body is used to, digestion-wise and everything like that, just eat more on your rest day and literally have a rest day. Rest day doesn't necessarily mean just, I'm not lifting weights. Rest day means mental rest too. So if you're sitting there mentally stressed out all day long on a rest day, that's not a rest day. You need to have a rest day where you're mentally, doesn't matter if you have to turn your phone on, let people know, like eat, lay down, like as much as you can. I mean, people have work, people have kids, but eat and just lay down as much as, almost treat it as if you were sick. You get up, you take your medication, you eat, and you lay down, you just literally rest. So when people are sick and they rest, they're really resting. But when people are taking a day off from the gym, all they're doing is not going to the gym that day. Then they run errands all day with the kids and go over here and go over there. And they're running around. They're missing their meals. They need to actually just sit down, lay down, and rest. That's how you're going to grow. And that's how you're going to feel better, too, when you go back. Venison is packed with protein. Yeah, venison is very good, too. Deer meat's real good. I haven't had deer meat since I was probably a kid. We'll be back, Delta Papa, every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can tune in on Titan Medical's page, or you can tune in on my Instagram. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So also the podcast. If you're at work, you got AirPods, or you're driving, you want to listen to me, check out the Titan Medical podcast. I've done like 250 shows. So if you ever miss anything and you want to go back, get some good information, you could always go back. And just, basically you can just go to the Titan podcast, type in what you want to hear about, and look at what I've talked about in one of the shows and just click on that. You can go off of that. Rumpus said, thinking of what gear to take, or I should just take tests. What are you looking to do? What are your results coming from what you want to take? You're looking to get ripped? You're looking to build muscle? Looking to get faster, stronger? Like, if you give me an idea of what you want to do, I could probably steer you in the right direction as to what to take. Any new peptides? Retrotrutide is one of the newer ones we have right now. It's kind of like semaglutide, but even stronger. I believe it's better. You don't have to worry so much about losing muscle. It's going to lower your blood sugar, reduce your appetite, heart and liver health, and also a significant amount of weight loss. It's $100 off right now. So if you call the line, 727-389-3220, just let them know you need some retrotrutide. And Drew said, give him $100 off. Would you consider over 200 milligrams a cycle? Now, whenever I hear people say cycle, not to be disrespectful, but it's kind of like people that haven't really been doing it that long. I mean, it could be a word choice, excuse me, but a cycle is not really, 200, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. It says, would you consider over 200 milligrams a cycle? Now, exactly, I would just take that word cycle completely out of your vocabulary, because I hear that all the time. Hey man, what's a good cycle? What's a good cycle? Cycle is just like, what can I take? So why not just say, I'm taking this, taking that? Like, people are like, cycle's like an old school term that people used to use about steroid cycles and all this stuff. So I would just consider anything over 200 milligrams unnecessary in terms of HRT. HRT, 200 milligrams is going to be a top. Every once in a while, we'll have people, they'll do 300 milligrams, but that's like because the 200 isn't significant to bring their testosterone to an optimal level. So 200 milligrams is a standard HRT dose around. I know places that only give 150. I know places that give 200. Some places give 100. The high end here on HRT would be 200. I'm on 200. That's what I would be, 200 HRT. But yeah. Says build, not compete. If you're looking to build and you're looking to take something, then I would say MK677 with the test, HRT test. MK677, in terms of what it does to your body, like the way you look and your body, it's kind of like Anadrol. So if you know anything about Anadrol, MK677 is like a safer version of Anadrol. And MK677 is going to put on lean tissue, it's going to raise your IGF levels, and it's going to give you a crazy appetite. So if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to build, main thing is eating. So I would say MK677 with the test, with whatever what are your HRT doses, and that's it. Especially if you're looking to build. Once you want to compete, then you can throw some other stuff, test some and IGF. But if you're looking to just straight build, test, MK, rest, food, weights. That's all you need. Someone's asking, why is everyone selling retrotrutide now? Probably because it works. Just like semaglutide, when it first came out, everybody, even now, everybody's, people, it's like flying off the shelves everywhere. Everyone's losing weight. A lot of celebrities like Lizzo. Lizzo did all that talk about, big is beautiful, big is, and then she lost weight. I'm not going to assume, but I'm not, I don't know for a fact, but I'm going to assume it was semaglutide or terzepeptide, something like that. Ice Spice lost a good amount of weight. So all these people that are saying, being big is beautiful. You could be big, that's fine, but you don't want to be obese. You don't want to be overweight. You don't want to be, out of shape. It's not the fact of if you're big or small. It's your body fat percentage. So you want to keep that low. Richard is saying, what is optimal testosterone level? Now, people get this confused when they hear testosterone levels and they hear how much you're taking. Like I had a conversation with someone a few weeks back, and they were telling me that their testosterone level was 1,000. Oh, it's 1,000. It's 1,000. I said, okay, that's about right. You don't want to really get too high. It's about right. Optimal levels is like 850 to 950, maybe 1,000. But I had a conversation with somebody like, yeah, my levels are 1,000. I'm like, okay, you're good. You're good. But come to find out, the miscommunication was off, and he was taking 1,000 milligrams a week, which is 5 times the HRT dose. So at optimal levels, so when you get your blood work done, your testosterone level comes back. If it's in like the 200, 300, 400, that's going to be low. You probably qualify for testosterone. But at optimal level, we're going to try to get you to be anywhere from 850, sometimes 1,000, but usually 850 to 950. That's where you're going to be optimal. Someone's asking, what's your thoughts on adding Proviron to TRT to bring down a very high SHBG? Proviron works good, and clomiphene also works in that same way. So there's other options you could take aside from Proviron. A lot of times people are taking Proviron without a prescription, so then you have to challenge the source, make sure it's real and all that. But there's better options, or other options, I should say. Chris Riley says, been on Retatrutide for 2 months, feels absolutely amazing. Says amazing compound. Now, have you tried anything else? Have you tried semaglutide, or have you tried tirzepatide, or are you just it's your first time taking something like this? I just want to know the difference if anybody out there has taken tirzepatide and also taken semaglutide or retatrutide. If you've taken 1, 2, or all 3 of those, if you've taken 2 or 3 of those, let me know the differences, like coming from an actual person who has gotten it through Titan. Scroll down a little bit. Someone's asking, what's the difference between this brand and others? We're legit. A lot of these places you go online, they're not legit. A lot of these amino places and research places, you can go online, fill out your name, and they'll send you some stuff. Ours is legit. Our therapies and HRT and our products come from a U.S. licensed pharmacy. You have to have a prescription for some of the stuff that we have. You have to have blood work for some of the stuff we have. We've been going strong for over 10 years. We service all 50 states. So we've been in this for a long time. A lot of these clinics open up for 2 or 3 years. They sell stuff straight out of the clinic, and they wonder why they only last for a couple years. Chris Riley says, test mass Reta IGF-1 LR3. Yeah, you could do that, but you could also get rid of the mass and run some clomiphene with your test. That way it just helps with this testicular atrophy, keep everything regulated. And also clomiphene is going to increase your libido the same way Masteron will. A lot of times people take Masteron for its anti-estrogenic effects and for the libido increase, but clomiphene will do the same. And then clomiphene will also bring up your test levels as well. So if you take that with the test, then you're really going to feel good. I have lost 38 pounds in 9 months. I'm on tirzepatide. Hell yeah. Nice shout out to Margie Hernandez. Lost 38 pounds in 9 months on tirzepatide. Nice job. Any new peptides? Tesamorelin is one of the newer ones. Retatrutide is one of the newer ones. We have other ones coming up. I mean, there's a whole lineup of new stuff coming out. Again, Retatrutide today is $100 off. Actually, it's going to go on, I believe, till tomorrow. What's the date today? Is it the 21st? Yeah, today's 21st. So today, it's sales going on till today, so you want to call and jump on that right now. Or text 727-389-3220. Just let them know what you need in the text. And just let them know I need the Big Drew discount or $100 off. 55 years old. Shout out to Margie Hernandez. 55 years old, dropped 38 pounds in 9 months. I love it. I love it. I love hearing stories. I love hearing stories about results. Sometimes people want to gain muscle. Sometimes people want to lose weight. It's all about results. I love it. Do I need to pair MK with anything, or is it fine by itself? You can take it by itself. I would recommend some HRT with it, but you can take it by itself. It's easy to take. It's a capsule, no injection. Just take like 1 cap a day. It's going to help you eat a lot. And again, too, with the MK677, if you're eating too much, as opposed to take it in the morning, take it before you go to bed, like literally right before you go to bed. On the nightstand, boom, and go to bed. So that way, if you're hungry, you're not going to notice or be overeating because you're going to be sleeping. Flip side, if you need to eat, if you're not eating enough, first thing in the morning, take it on an empty stomach, and about 10, 15 minutes later, you're going to be hungry all day. And it usually takes a couple days to kick in. Like when I first took it, I was like, oh, I'm not hungry. Then all of a sudden one day I was like, this is crazy. I could not stop eating. So MK is good. MK is one of my favorite compounds in terms of getting big and strong through Titan out of everything that we have. I would take it at the same time. I would take the MK with the HRT at the same time. And again, HRT, go through a medical provider too. So that way you could see what everything's doing. You can see how the MK is doing, see what the test levels are at. You know how much test to take. Always, if you're taking testosterone, you always want to go through a medical provider. Like I did it my own way for many years. Now I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, you'll save a lot of money too, because you may not need as much as you think you need if you get your blood work done. Anybody else on here? Real quick, one of the topics today, pull it up real quick. Strength training has surged in popularity. Studies show it brings particular health benefits. Yes, so a lot of times the crave 10 years ago, 15 years ago was cardio. I remember back like a long time ago when the stair machine was stairs, and running and this and that. So, and I've been telling people this for years, like you could burn fat a lot more with a clean diet and actually lifting heavy weights. And people are like, yeah, but they didn't really believe me. But now finally it's coming about. Well, it says it has become a familiar scene of gym goers and gym owners. Many elliptical machines are still empty while heavy dumbbells are in high demand. I love it. We had a lady on here earlier, I believe it was a lady, was asking about strength training, helping with anxiety and depression. It also helps with dementia. The older you get, it's going to help with all that stuff. So, due to a combination of pandemic-included habit changes and growing awareness of the health benefits of muscle strengthening. So, I mean, yeah, it's great to see this. That now I love that. I noticed that, and I had a conversation with a lady last week. She actually started semaglutide. She's losing a lot of weight, so shout out to her. But I actually had a conversation with her, and she said that she was like, I never looked at it like that. So when you walk into a gym, the girls that are in the best shape are lifting weights. Now, they may go on the treadmill or a stair machine for a little bit, but if you really look around on the women that are in the best shape and have the lowest body fat, smallest waist, best shaped legs, and they're under the squat rack, they're lifting weight. They're kind of like lifting, for a lack of a better term, they're lifting like a dude. Those are the ones that have shape. Women go on the stair machine and they lose their booty, they lose their legs, their stomach doesn't really change because they're eating like crap, and they're just sitting there talking on the phone or watching the video and nothing's really happening. So, I mean, you got to include some type of weight training. Even if you do cardio, do it separate from your weight training and actually lift the weights. Says the most popular type of workout last year with a 94% increase in reservations in those classes from a year prior. More than 60% of Class Pass users now include strength training in their programs. Yeah, so even just to give you guys an idea, if you go to a gym, you'll see a guy or a girl walk in with a towel. They'll be out of shape. They'll look like they're there because they need to lose some body fat. They'll have a water bottle in their hand. They'll have a towel. They'll be sipping their water bottle nonstop in front of you just to show you, yes, I drink my water. They'll walk in, say, hi, how you doing? They'll go in, they'll do a class, and then as soon as the class is done, they'll just leave and go home. Complete waste of time. Like, the only thing that's doing is satisfying their rebuttal from when people say, you need to lose weight. Yeah, I go to the gym. And then what do? As soon as they get home, they call people, yeah, I just got back from the gym. You know, it's like, who cares? Like, work out. Like, lift some weights. So, lifting weights is the best way. It's not the only way, but it's the best way. What does that say? Joshua Fitness is saying, give me more info on the new therapy. The new therapy is retatrutide. It's kind of like Peptide and semaglutide, a little bit stronger. You don't have to worry so much about muscle loss with this. It's $100 off right now. So for today only, for the rest of the day, it's $100 off. So call 727-389-3220 and let them know you need the Retta. Retta is the easiest way. People can call it Retta, but it's retatrutide. But just say you want Retta. Yeah, if I could take tirzepeptide, semaglutide, or retatrutide, I would definitely take Retta over semaglutide for me. just because I'm concerned with this muscle. I put this muscle on. It was hard work. I don't want anything to touch it. So, you're welcome, Rump. Nice. Esquire Broker is asking, how do they properly treat a muscle strain or pull? First thing I would say is get it x-rayed or get it looked at to figure out if it is a strain or pull, and make sure it's not a tear. If it's a tear, you don't want to be stretching at all. It's kind of like if you have a piece of paper and it's a slight tear and you stretch it, it's going to tear more. So tear needs to be like chilled. Now, if it's a strain and all that, I mean, I'm not a doctor in terms of recovery, but if you needed to add something to make it heal faster, BPC 157, something we have here at Titan. I had like a slight strain when my tricep connects to my lat from doing some heavy rows. And as soon as I felt it tweak and move a little bit, I stopped the workout and I literally started blasting it with BPC for like 5-6 days and it went away. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen every time, but figure out what the exact injury is. And if you need something to speed up the recovery process, take some BPC 157. Die Rich said, bro, I have tendonitis. It's been a month. What do I do? Again, BPC 157 is going to help tremendously with that. It strengthens the ligaments and connective tissue within the joint. So BPC 157 works great. You could take that combined with TB 500 for even more of an effect. So if I had a serious injury or tendonitis or something like that, I would do that. TB 500 and BPC 157. They have other benefits too with the BPC and the TB500, but the main thing, those are like the main healing. They're known as like healing peptides. Yes, exercise and weightlifting can increase testosterone levels, especially heavy squats, heavy deadlifts. They will increase slightly your testosterone level. Jarrett Finley says, are testosterone boosters effective for building muscle? Hell no. Like literally, capital hell, capital no. Testosterone boosters are crap. You can tell them Drew said it. I've tried them. I've tried literally half a bottle of them, like just to see. Like I've tried double, triple, quadruple, 5-time dosing for a month straight back in the day. Those testosterone boosters do absolutely nothing. Now they will boost your level on paper, but nothing where you're going to see it. Like if it were that easy, just think how cheap it would be or how much better it would be if you could take a testosterone booster. You could be low testosterone, take a testosterone booster, and then you go get your blood work done, you're optimal. It doesn't happen. I don't care if you take Tribulus all day, every day it's not going to happen. So it may a little bit, but not where you're going to feel. Like in other words, your testosterone level may be a 410 and it's going to bring you to a 420, but you need to be 900. So complete waste of time. And also with the testosterone boosters, with the amount of money they're costing, you might as well just go HRT or even enclomiphene. And enclomiphene will actually boost your testosterone a hell of a lot more than those testosterone boosters will, because it's proven, it's prescribed, it's legit, and it's a capsule. You just take one a day or one every other day, and that's going to boost your testosterone. So, I mean, I would just throw those boosters like in the trash, literally. Rump is asking, is MK677 an anabolic steroid? No, it's not an anabolic steroid, no. You're welcome, Jonathan. Says, what bro watching in the back? I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're seeing right now. I have like 3 phones, an iPad, and a huge TV monitor in front of me now with all kinds of screen. I have no idea what you guys are seeing. Oh, you're probably seeing the Retrotide. It's a therapy of the week. We're having $100 off. You probably see the brochure with the girls up there. Steven is asking, does enclomiphene cause gyno? No, I haven't heard of it cause gyno. Now the mechanism, that's a smart question, because anytime your testosterone level is increased, you have a chance of having gyno, which is gynecomastia, which basically means your estrogen is getting too high and you start developing like breast tissue in males. If your estrogen gets too high, that's what gyno means. But I haven't seen it cause gyno. I haven't seen it increase estrogen levels too much. But again, if that is something you're concerned about, you could just take Novadex, also known as tamoxifen, and Anastrozole, also known as Arimidex. or even Aromacin will help with that as well, with eczema stain. Glamour and trendy. I don't know what that means. Shout out to Jackie. Let's jump into some Titan events coming up. We don't have too many events coming up, but we do have the Tampa Pro. I don't know if you guys saw the flyer that just got posted on the website. It's on Tim's site. It's on a couple of my pages as well. Tampa Pro, it's going to be, I believe, July 29th to July 31st, August 2nd. Titan Medical Center presents the Tampa Pro, so we're the official sponsor of the event. It's going to be at the Grand Hyatt Bayport here in Tampa, so anybody who's familiar with Tampa has been to the Tampa Pro. It's at the same location every year. Tim Gardner, big shout out to Tim Gardner. He's going to put on another great event. And again, we're the title sponsor. I'll let you guys and girls know if we're going to give out free shots. Last couple of years, we gave out free Amino shots and free B12 shots. All you'd have to do is just come over, check your ID, sign a waiver, and you get a free shot. I'm not sure if we're doing that this year, but I'll let you know as soon as I find out. Next show after that is the Hurricane Pro. So first Tampa Pro, July 31st, August 2nd. Then the Hurricane Pro, August 17th to the 18th. That's in St. Pete. Another Tim Gardner show. So shout out to Tim. Tim Gardner is one of the best promoters, if not the best promoter. So yeah, it's going to be the Hurricane Pro. I'm not sure the exact location for that event. Once it gets close, I'll guys let you know. I do know it's in St. Petersburg, though, and that's the Hurricane Pro. That's all we have for right now for our events, just the Titan Pro, Titan Tampa Pro, and Hurricane Pro, 2 bodybuilding events. We do car shows, we do fashion shows, we do charity events, golf stuff, we do everything. So stay in tuned. Sign up for the Titan Medical newsletter. I'm going to have Brian pull up how you guys can sign up for that right now on the screen. And once you get the newsletter, you're going to be notified of all the different therapies I talk about every week. You're going to be notified of any events that we have, any specials we have, new therapies that are coming out, new therapies that have just came out. Everything's going to be on there on the newsletter. So join our newsletter now. If you go to the website, you see the little up at the top of the website. You'll see a little link that says "Join our newsletter now." Click that, and then you're going to be notified. Fish and Cook says, bro, I have legit tendonitis bad. What do I do? Yeah. BPC 157, start blasting it right away. And when I say blasted, I mean a healthy dosage. That doesn't mean take the whole bottle. It means take a high dose, a high recommended dose. Doesn't mean, just start like literally blasting it, but high dose BPC every day, closest to the area where the tendonitis is at. And I guarantee you it's going to help. I can't guarantee about probably 90. I mean, I've never heard of it not helping, put it that way. That's pretty much it. I'm going to check all the screens real quick to make sure I don't have any more questions. Just check real quick. Do mainly the run lift. That looks like it. Oh, what's a high dose for BP 157? I'm taking 1 milligram a day. 1 milligram a day is very high. I believe. I'm not really too sure about that 1 milligram because I'm familiar with the tickers on the actual. So you're loading up a full 1 ml every day. That seems a little high. I know when I was taking it, the highest I did was 0.5 on the pin every day, but I'm not really. I just went off of whatever the medical provider told me to take. 11 micrograms. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. But what is on the? So you're bringing it up to the 11. So like the first tick on the 0.1, 11, like 1. I believe that's what he's saying. And also it depends when you're doing these measurements too. Okay, yeah, you're saying yeah. Yeah, depending on how you constitute it, everybody has different ways to constitute. So if you have a bottle of BPC and you have bacteria-started water, if you put, say, 5 mLs of water in here and you draw it out, to the 0.2, makes a big difference because what if you only put 3 in there and brought out to the 2? So it's going to make a difference. I know when I did it, I was doing 0.5 a day. But meniscus tears, I don't know. It's not going to help an actual tear. It'll help with the recovery of it, but it's not gonna like, in other words, it's not gonna regrow ligaments and regrow. If your ligaments is like, say if your shoulders, the ligaments and everything is just bone on bone, so far gone, it's not gonna grow new ligaments. But whatever's there has been damaged, that it's gonna repair the damage to what's ever been, stressed or messed up or whatever. That's pretty much it today. Again, strength training has surged in popularity. Studies bring a particular health benefits. So any guy, girl, kid, old person out there that's looking to get in shape and they think that walking on the treadmill or going for a run or doing some cheesy machine where they don't really have to do that much work is going to help. No, get underneath the weight, lift weights. You'll feel better, live longer, and you're going to burn more fat. This is Titan Lifestyle. I'll be back next week, every week at 2 p.m. Do the same thing next week, so get your questions ready. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and also you can check out the podcast. Make sure you hit the bell on YouTube so you're notified of videos just like this. I'm Big Drew. I'm ready to go train.